was your entire length of stay? So that was a week later.
So it happened on Monday the 9th.
You're getting a
the
pacemaker.
following Monday, I get the pacemaker. Discharged Tuesday afternoon to home. And first week or two at home, just trying to cope with going upstairs and normal routines. And then got home, and I'm like, gosh, I need to go take a shower. I haven't showered in a week, and I need to shave, and just how much you lose in a week laying in a hospital bed, and how weak you become. And I'm just starting to kind of feel normal now after, a couple months and feeling better. Yeah, it's crazy.
No issues since?
Very minimal. I've still got some limitations on what I can lift. Got to watch raising my left arm because of the implant.
Sure.
Stuff like that. And I'm still trying to figure out what the next step is, or the process is about possibly getting back to work if they're going to allow me to go back to work. I've got follow-ups. I just had an echo the other week, and my ejection fracture has come up to the low end of normal, so everybody's happy about that. They've got me on a couple of new heart meds, and they're helping out tremendously now. My heart rate is up where it should be, and I feel a lot better most days. But, of course, haven't worked for 2 months either, so it could be
right, yeah. I'm not exhausted.
A 2-month vacation, kind of does wonders.
That's not the way to take it, though.
No, absolutely.
No. Wow.
I would have written you a note.
Man, remind me next year this time. I'll be like, hey, Doc says, a year from now, I need another 2 months off. Fantastic. We got this on tape, so this is great.
6-month paid vacation twice a year. How long did you guys hang out at the... I mean, the decision to go back to the firehouse, I imagine, had to be...
Well, we kind of had to get everything back together. It was a little mess in the back squad. Switch out the drug boxes, and we were just waiting. Chief's in there. You see people start coming into the hospital. Yeah. Of course, you didn't want to leave because you're watching this happen.
Sure, it's your guy.
And we had to get back in service. Little did we know that by the time we get back, we're being sent home. So it was like, I got to get back in service. It's like, cleared the station because the majority of everybody went.
Yeah.
They called everyone in, general alarm for the station, and as soon as we got back, they sent us home. But they didn't let us stay long.
I'd heard Kent and Ravenna fire both sent squads to come in, cover our station until we could get some of our guys in.
Get your duty crews back in.
Yeah, it was just, it's one of those, you used to go mutual aid to other departments, but something like this you don't ever expect. And it's just, it is such a brotherhood. I mean, I'm still hearing from people that just constantly, and I'm trying to get out to everybody and thank everybody personally and thank these departments that came in and that. And it's, like I said, it's very overwhelming, but in a good way.
Yeah, all the stops come out when it's one of your own.
Yeah.
So, you guys have any other thoughts on your case? I want to kind of tie this together for everybody out there, because there's a second trajectory at this table that I'd like to intersect the arcs. But as far as your case, anything else on your guys' mind about that whole experience? Just take home points for.
Yeah, I don't know, but one of the side things when everybody's coming and visiting. I got moved upstairs for a day or two before I came back down to the ICU. And so you and Johnny, so a couple of the guys.
Johnny, Johnny and I came with Blue one time too.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there in bed the one time, and he's like, I'm glad you're, awake and alert and everything, and then he goes and apologizes for. Breaking my ribs because he said that he heard the break. And I just looked at him and I'm like Tyler, you can break every single one of my ribs, brother, as long as the outcome's the same. I'm good with that, And that's one of the stories I tell. I'm like, I got one of the guys came up and apologized to me, and I'm like, dude, don't worry.
No apology necessary, right?
I mean, honestly, we're so used to using the Lucas anymore. I'm not saying people do bad CPR, but you usually don't feel it unless it's the first thing you do.
Right.
A lot of times, we already the Lucas, throw on the Lucas, then start doing everything else. Actually feeling that and, kind of hearing it, you can kind of hear it a little bit. Mm-hmm. It was surreal because I never felt the ribs crack before. I was like, oh, but I got to keep going.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, on our case, I just say you're never going to think it's someone that you know. You're always going to think it's someone's house you're going to protect the city that you're employed for. And never once do you think it's your family, your friend, or yourself.
Your colleague, yeah.
So, I mean, you always got to keep that awareness. So,
what a crazy story with an absolutely cool outcome. I mean, the fact that we're sitting here talking about it.
Absolutely.
Before you go into your tangent, I know you're going.
It's your tangent. I'm just going to start the tangent for you.
So, how did you guys end up in medicine? How did you end up as firefighter paramedics?
Okay, so one of
great pay, excellent hours.
Yeah, all that, chicks dig scars, sort of deal. It's just the fame and everything that goes along with it is just incredible. No, one of my earliest memories actually, we moved from Cleveland. My family did to Streetsboro when I was like 2 years old. Our house was actually firebombed one night and lit on fire. And I can remember as a kid, at 2 years old, sitting there, and I can't remember if I was sitting on the back of one of the fire engines for a little bit with my mom, or the back of my dad's pickup, and I can remember seeing the guys working on putting our house out, and
wow.
And the fire engines being there, and then that's just always been a memory that's been there. And then in kindergarten, one of our field trips was to the old fire station, and I can remember going there and going, yeah, I might want to do this one day. And then senior year of high school, we had to do like a big term paper for one of my writing classes, and I did it on the evolution of the fire service. And I started going up to the fire station, read some of their books, get to know some of the guys, and 31 years later, this is where I'm at.
Wow.
So some of those implanted memories from when you're a child, just some of those things are stuck.
How about you?
So mine's more of like a 360 switch in terms of careers. What about me? I don't know if we're going to talk about like where we grew up. We grew up in a small town called Manaway, Ohio, Mantua. Everybody wants to call it. It's actually Mantua. If you want Mantua, if you want to call it that.
Don't go fancying it up now, Joe Dirt, all right? Joe Dirt, Mantua.
I enrolled at Kent Roosevelt. I did a career tech program, which like allows you to do, it's over 6 different districts of schools. Allows you to choose a career path. Like they had carpentry, athletic health and fitness, healthcare technologies, automotive, urban forestry, and then you can end up getting college to go to credits to go to college in said career. And I had to do a capstone report, and I had to choose fields that I might be interested in. So I wrote a lot of fire departments because I always found that really interesting to me, but I also like the strength conditioning aspect. Lo and behold, I ended up going to Kent State. 5 years later, exercise science degree, strength coach for 11 years. I was actually a coach before I got my degree because my teacher owned the gym that I worked at. I was a janitor first.
Oh, my.
And then I worked my way up. He said, you want to start interning and start training?
He was the buffest janitor you've ever seen.
Yeah, you know that. And he said, you want to start coaching some classes? You want to start helping some programming? I was like, yeah, sure. And I kind of worked my way up there, but then I just really started to have a dissatisfaction with the job, whether it was in seeing growth. And everyone at the gym, there's a lot of Kent firemen there. I mean, I knew a lot of Kent firemen. And they always talk so highly of the career itself. Sure. And I said, I really kind of see what it's about, but I didn't really go with it. And then one day with my fiance, we're driving and see an ambulance go by. I'm like, well, why don't I just give that a shot? Like, why not? I mean, I'm like, I'm not happy now.
I think I can do that.
Like, well, that is so cool. So I ended up enrolling in EMT school, got my basic, got a job with private ambulance. Didn't like that. I'll tell you right now. Did not like that.
Shocker.
Got my paramedic, went straight to fire school after that. Got my first job at Streetsboro. And I love that ever since.
And a year later, saves a coworker's life.
And I got employed by University Hospitals with the Institute. I'm a quarterback. Just rode around all different hospitals. Yes. Just not Portage.
Just not Portage.
Just not Portage.
Not allowed.
I still want him to ride me. And that's...
Well, you know what's coming up next, then.
Why don't you come work at Portage?
Let's say, your next detail?
He didn't know the next step in treating your cardiac arrest. I think we need to work on him a little bit more.
Yes.
Hey, in his defense,
He's on camera.
I do know it. I just got a little nervous. You got the medical directors like staring at me. I'm like, well, just freeze in here. All right.
I was just hoping they weren't going to ask me next. I was going, wait a minute, we've given every drug. Hang on a second. I was passed out at the time. That's my excuse.
That part of my memory is still missing. Yeah. I don't know why.
I'm going to claim that for years and become, well, I don't quite remember. That part of my brain doesn't work since the accident, so.
But in that same vein, your story is not a straight trajectory. You woke up one day and said, or came out of high school and said, I want to go to college and be a doctor. You yourself had a midlife direction change in career paths, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. How did that all become? It was...
So, I was always interested in computers.
Yeah.
So, my family always told me, like, you can do whatever you want to do, right? So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever you want to do. Like, you know, the old nudge towards, like, doctor, lawyer, make some money. And my version of a doctor was a family doctor who would just go and I had strep throat a lot as a kid, so my version of a doctor was the guy who would shove a Q-tip in the back of my mouth.
Correct. Tongue depressor in there.
Not the highlight, not something I wanted to do. I like computers. We're going to go technology. I get my undergrad in computer science. I go to the University of Akron. I hate school. I hate it. I hate it so much I try to get done with my undergraduate program in 3 years. I fall very short of that by one stats class. I just can't squeeze into the 3 years. So it takes me 3.5 years to get done with that one stats class. By the time before I graduate, I'm working full time for a local municipality doing IT stuff. I do Java programming. I do web development. I dabble in some virtualization. Very, very nerdy stuff. During that time, I thought it'd be a great idea to take a motorcycle and drive into a guardrail about 40 miles an hour. Broke both my legs, so bilateral tib fib fractures, right-sided hemo-pneumo, liver laceration, adrenal laceration, some spinous process fractures. I was helmeted, was wearing appropriate gear. I was on an exit ramp, not doing everything appropriately other than I was riding in March. Hit either, and it's a beautiful March day.
Oh, yeah, it's Northeast Ohio. Why wouldn't it be?
It could be. It could be 90 or it could be sunny.
Exactly.
It's a day like any other.
Yeah.
Till it wasn't.
Yep. So it was my second or third time out on the bike. Hit an exit ramp. I hit gravel in the middle of it. Lost the back end of the bike. Like an idiot. I thought, oh man, I can recover this. Like, I don't need to lay the bike down. That's going to really hurt. I'm going to recover this. I did recover, about 5 feet between me and the guardrail. Glanced out on my speedometer, I'm going 45. Hit the brakes as hard as I possibly could. Obviously hit the guardrail, hold on to dear life. I hit the guardrail a second time as I'm grinding along the road. Bike goes one way, I go the other. I stop underneath the guardrail. Guy, car back, comes up to me and goes, "You've been in a really bad motorcycle accident." I said, "No shit."
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yes.
He's like, "Both your legs are broken." No shit. He's like, "Ambulance is on his way." I'm like, "Great."
That's the part I wanted to hear, right?
Yeah. So it ends up being, it was Norton that responded to my accident. He was an off-duty Norton paramedic there. They scraped me off the road, put me on a backboard, give me some medications, drive me on, I swear, the bumpiest road ever. Because it's, March in Ohio, so it's got all these potholes. I have a new guy that's on there that is holding my leg because it just feels better if you hold it up, even though it's not really attached to anything. And he's about ready to puke.
New guy's puking in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. The guys love the fact that he was almost vomiting during this. So I arrive at Akron General, initially coming in as a limited, or there they call them level 2 traumas. I was quickly upgraded to a level 1 because I was hypotensive on arrival to the trauma center. Go back in. They stabilized me. I had all those injuries. And I'm spending, they stabilized me. I don't go immediately to the OR. I go to the OR a few hours later, drain about 2.1 liters of bile from my belly from all my injuries, put a bunch of tubes in, chest tube, all that fun jazz. Ended up spending 4 weeks in an ICU. I was a few days away from a trach because I wouldn't come off the vent. Then a week in the step-down unit, a week in a regular room, and then 3 more weeks in inpatient rehab. So about 2 months total. Ooh. Still couldn't walk at that point. Took me about 6 months to walk afterwards. And after that, I'm like, you know what? Medicine's pretty cool. Doctors aren't just swabbing people for stress. How about that?
I just died, and my whole recovery seemed a lot better than that. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
So yeah, that was I call it my introduction by fire to medicine. Found all the critical care stuff of medicine really interesting. Took me a while to actually commit myself, and really it was my girlfriend at the time that convinced me, and now wife, that convinced me to go to med school, and here I am.
And roughly how old were you when you committed to med school?
My accident, I was 24, and I started med school at 30. So 24, I had my accident. 28, I started post-bac program because I had to go back and do more undergrad stuff. Yep. That was 2 years. Started med school at 30, 4 years of med school, and then 3 years of a residency in emergency medicine, and then graduated from emergency medicine residency at Akron General, where I actually had my trauma at.
Full circle.
Yep, in 2017.
Was that by design?
I'm sorry, 2020.
Or was that happenstance?
Happenstance.
Really?
I'm local. I grew up in, I grew up in Stowe. We're all kind of local boys. So I didn't want to go anywhere far away. I went to Neomed out in Ritztown for medical school. Akron was my college twice. So I really wanted to go to either of the Akron programs. The year that I was applying to residency, they closed the program at Akron City SUMA.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision, essentially made a decision before that between Akron General and SUMA. Going in, I thought I was going to go to SUMA because I had better knowledge of that program. I had a friend that went through that program and thought I was more comfortable there. Rotated through both. I liked General more. It fit my personality better. And I told the program director in November, I'm like, I want to go here. This is where I want to go. And then they closed that program in January.
That's about right.
Yeah. So I picked the right point. I had a great education, great training. Now I work for University Hospitals. How about you? How'd you end up in medicine?
How did I end up in medicine?
Yeah.
The whole family did. I don't have a story.
Okay.
I don't want to say it was expected, but it was known. And I'm the only one in my family that's done it professionally in any capacity. I started as fire EMS, strictly EMS now, but love the medicine component of that. Actually, like everybody else, wanted to be a firefighter. That was, that was my goal. And by accident, got my EMT first. Because it was offered first. That's all it was. It was,
I was the same way. It's like,
no story.
EMT class starts here, fire starts here. You need to go become an EMT first now.
And I just bid on that, and I've loved the medicine since. And there was a point I'm like, I enjoy the fire. I miss this stuff, but I was always better at the medicine. And it just especially once I became a paramedic in 90, like so we were talking off cameras, 99 became a paramedic, and then it was there's no turning back. I'm all in medicine, and that's it. Been running full steam ahead since then. So my story's not nearly as cool. I have no hospital stays in it whatsoever. No shifting of careers or anything. So, but yeah, that's it. Well, that's been a hell of an episode. Any other? Wow.
How'd you guys like? I mean, you guys are our first official guest, really.
Oh, look at us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, our outside guest. Everybody else has been from within the institute thus far. So
the swag bag with the diamond encrusted watches and that was really nice of UH to give us. We really appreciate those.
That. Yeah. Don't forget you signed a no pawn contract.
Yeah, so that's fine. Did you get the free medical care for life?
No.
See that? There's a paper over there on the way in the door. You just got to grab it, take it with you. There's a little card you show anytime anything happens. It's like a get out of jail free.
But so to him only.
Medical.
No, it works UH, but just don't show it to Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah, it's the golden UH emblem.
No, this is I don't know. This has been. Hopefully, we were able to get the story across, and you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully, everybody else that hears it will gain something from it, or at least, if nothing else, enjoy hearing it.
Yeah, no, it's a obviously great story because it turned out well,
yes,
right? And,
exactly.
But
so many of them don't. One other thing I guess.
How many have we been on that turned out poorly, right?
I actually have one back in. I got to remember the year now. I think it was 2012. We had a gentleman, full arrest, we went out on. He's on his treadmill in his basement. Wife called. He's down, not breathing. We went on it, worked him, got him back. We were getting to the hospital. And I wrote the report. The cops got there, I think put him on AED, started CPR, did not shock him. We did everything en route. And to this day, that gentleman has stayed in touch with me. He saw my story and reached out right away. Holidays, every couple of weeks, he'll send me a text, how you doing? And very kind of similar circumstance, but he had a blockage. He had to get some stents. And he's got a pacemaker defibrillator in his chest now, too. And we talk every couple of weeks and just check up on each other. And it's one of those, cool. Out of 31 years, I mean, we've been on several saves, but he's one that's maintained contact religiously.
He's the one that sticks out.
Yeah. So it's kind of why I guess we do all this is for that one out of thousands. You just never know.
I think this is a really cool concept. You don't see a lot of hospitals do this, and we're over here in Northeast Ohio. I don't know if I'm exploring across the country or not, but you're bringing in guests. You're within an organization, within a hospital, talking about what we're providing and allowing people to be educated on it. It's pretty nice. I mean, it's easier than going online because you actually have the people who are actually doing it talking to you in front of it.
The other thing that all four of us kind of set out to do is what we didn't want it to be was just another lecture, right? I mean, we wanted it to be far more conversational. This is far more human interest than we've done thus far. It's, our previous podcasts have, had a topic and we, CPAP, ketamine, whatever. But still, even at that, it was still, it was still meant to be conversational, not, here's the benefits of ketamine, You can press play on the internet anywhere and get that content, right? So we've tried to keep it light and just people sitting here chatting, right?
Yeah.
I think it's useful and it'll help advance medicine. Maybe get someone interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you never know.
Somebody has to replace us.
Wide audience that you can reach with stuff like this. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and when people can interact with you on it as well, which is nice.
Yeah. I'll look. Hopefully, we can get you guys back here for the live, and that might be pretty interesting. We'll get some people to tune in. And
how many other times can you talk to a doctor and ask him questions like that?
At UH, you can do it all the time.
So I can just show up and ask you questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming out. This has been absolutely fantastic, and thanks for being willing to come here and tell all your stories. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Glad I could be here to do all this.
That's super cool, yeah.
That's why when the doc asks for somebody else, I'm like, absolutely, whatever you need, because I'm just happy to be here.
Right. Right. So. Well, cool.
All right.
Anything else?
That's it.
Anything else? That's a wrap, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.